else I was going to say it. It is indeed the morning. My hair is a mess because I've just literally woken up. And, well, yet again, believe it or not, upstairs is drilling and hammering. Ridiculously so. They did it from about 7 AM this morning. And I'm just, you know, when something just goes on for so long that you're just done with it. No, I'm just done with it. I might put a complaint through. You know, I need to go up and say something first, but last time it stopped for a little while. But then out of nowhere it's just started up again. So that's annoying. So I'm hoping, touch wood, that they don't get into things whilst I'm making this video, but I can hear some sounds upstairs. They're banging around, they're hammering. The hammering is one thing. If it's soft enough, it doesn't really get picked up too badly, but it's the drilling that's the issue, you know. The drilling is just so obnoxious. So I can't do anything when that's going on. It's really bad when I'm working as well, like yesterday when someone asked about it, and it's like, great, now I feel really unprofessional because I have to now mute every single time I'm not talking. So it's really starting to annoy me. But there we go, guys. Can't really do anything about it right now. Right now, I'm not sure if it's coming from upstairs, but I'm about 95% sure it's coming from upstairs. Mainly because this office room doesn't connect to any other flats, and yet it sounds like it's coming through the wall. But we shall see how that plays out. Hopefully it doesn't need to play out any other way than it stops. But enough about my complaints of my neighbours. Oh, the door's about to open, I think. Katie is here today. It's a Tuesday, which means I've got a lot of time in the morning and I've got a game in the afternoon. Nope, I thought I could hear her walking in. Yeah, so I will probably see her. Always do stuff with her today. Oh my god, that was a big yawn. But I've got to get some things finalised for a game this evening, which I'm looking forward to. The end of a big arc. Very, very big arc that's been going on for probably about half a year now. Half the campaign as well. Unbelievably, I didn't realise how long they'd been doing this this arc in the story, and I mean, they seem to be enjoying it. It's basically a campaign of its own right. I've barely levelled up as well, I have to admit, but you know, I'm going to level them up today once they've, assuming they survive the fight, they'll level up. But I've got a couple of different outcomes planned depending on whether they lose. So the whole plot that they've been going down is that they have been fighting they've been in this homebrew campaign, this one. They've been in the city of Silvery Moon, which is like a very magical city in the Forgotten Realms setting. One of the characters is from there. They ended up back at the city, and they came there for a different reason, to check in on this other character's family. But they ended up in the city. And there's been some stuff going on. So, one of the other characters is a drow, which is quite fun. And this drow character, oh my gosh, sorry, I'm just losing my train of thought. My brain is still defrosting. Yeah, this drow character left the Underdark and was quite prestigious there, and a secret organisation have been trying to do something in Silvery Moon, and they've been trying to learn first of all who it was that was doing these underhanded things. Like a noble had been kidnapped basically, then they met up with the Harpers accidentally, and then they learned that it was the drow. And what had been happening is the drow were looking to use the mythal in the city to connect, a very powerful spell, a spell this drought player created when she was evil and lived in the Underdark, which allows to, like, en masse create an army of undead and literally rend the skeletons from living beings, killing the beings instantly, but making an army of skeletons. And so the skeletons are going to, not the skeletons, the drow are trying to do this plan. They finally kind of got wind of it, ended up at a gala, because they knew that there was basically a big gala happening, and the Illustrial Silverhand basically asked them to attend and tried to keep an eye on things, knowing that there was an infiltrator in the city that was learning information. She would likely be there. So they went, and during the gala had learned who this person was, and actually, like, it was very much improv mode, but I had a lot of kind of like story beats that I'd prepped for should things go down a certain way. For example, if they never learned who she was, there was going to be a lot more enemies in the end battle, and like other things, I guess. Off the top of my head, I can't think of what they would be, but I've got like a list of things, like, depending on how far in the investigation they got. There was also a possibility they could skip the end fight altogether, basically, or at least like the end fight with her. If they managed to capture her, which they nearly did, then they wouldn't actually have to go through a two-phase fight. Instead, more powerful spellcasters would be able to intervene and stop from whatever is happening. So in short, what basically happened was they attended the gala. They'd learned who this person was, found them, and then they went to go, like, confront her. However, one of the characters made it really obvious they were there to confront her, and she, like, knew the jig was up, right? She didn't look like a drow, by the way, she looked like a different elf, but she knew the jig was up and immediately teleported away. One of the other players tried to counterspell her dimension door, and she, like, if he had succeeded, which he didn't, but if he had succeeded, she wouldn't have been able to teleport away. There'd have been about a round of combat, and then Illustrial Silverhand would have come along and been like, Force Gauge, you're stuck now, and she couldn't have done anything. Basically, her plan would have been thwarted by that one counter spell, and if that had happened, like, she probably would have said to the players, like, right, we've got her, but, like, the other drow, there probably would have been, like, an interrogation scene, and in her, like, arrogance, she probably would have explained what was happening, that capturing her meant nothing because the plan was underway, but it did mean something because they would have to go and try and stop the heart of the issue, where a backup plan was set in motion, where someone else would attempt the spell casting on the moon bridge, and they'd have had a fight in a different location, but it would have been a much easier fight. However, she did escape, and what that meant is she managed to get back inside the palace where the gala was in, and she was able to instigate the plan, like sending a message to be like, go, 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 basically, and then all these explosions over the city to sort of distract and disorientate the guards. And then they ended up in a fight with her in the main gala hall, where they, honestly, they kind of like slapped her about. She did not fend very well. I did have like a number of other minions, but the thing is, players aren't stupid. You know, they'll go for the boss. They won't burn their way through the chaff. They will go for the boss, and that's what they did. For the most part, they just like ignored the other enemies, which wasn't a great idea because it started biting them in the arse. But for the most part, like they went for the main enemy, and as she was like throwing around 9th and 8th, or she actually threw around an 8th and then a 7th level slot, and killed a bunch of people, like not the players, but like some of the and I didn't roll very well on it, but it did knock one player unconscious. So they managed to beat her. However, the fight is indeed not over, because as she was like being defeated, she kind of gave a prayer to Lolth and immediately kind of erupted into like a like a physical bestial form, and became like a spider demon. And so that's what that reminds me, I've got to make a token for it. That's what today's session is going to be like. They're going to be fighting this spider demon, and I feel like I've been looking through some of the other books for artwork. I wonder if there's one in the Monster Manual Expanded. But yeah, I've made a stat block for it, and I can't imagine it's going to be like without fatality. One of the players has already been like, if I die in this fight, I just want you to know, like, it feels thematic, it feels epic enough, like it won't bother me. I'm like, okay, chill, I might kill you. No, I'm joking, I won't let the players down. Not unless they have, as the character, forced my hand, if that makes sense. For example, a character, like this literally happened in another campaign, the player's not in the game anymore, but for like no specific reason, by the way, but yeah, what was it they did? Yeah, so in a Curse of Strahd game, this player constantly was just like mocking Strahd, like calling him like vampire dick or something. I can't remember I don't remember. It was just being like really sort of insulting the shit out of him. And so one day, and she keeps doing it over and over again, the character, throughout the campaign, and then one day he's actually there. Like, he's actually there in the room. Bear in mind, you can basically hear everything that happens in his domain anyway, but he's actually at the location. They've just, I think, what was it they did? They just defeated Ludmilla in a fight, which is one of Strahd's brides. And, like, they kick her ass. There's another example of them absolutely smacking about a caster enemy. But, yeah, she was beaten. He basically spirits her away and then comes in and is like, I apologise for her behaviour, she's not acting on my behalf, I will have her punished, blah 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 blah. And like starts a bit of a conversation with the players and actually invites them to go to dinner. Believe it or not. But oh my gosh, I literally was about to say something and it's completely gone from my head. Right, the insulting. So this player starts insulting Strahd whilst he's there. I think she insults him, and then he's like, "That's enough out of you. Speak again out of turn, and I will just, I'm getting bored of you speaking out of turn now. Quiet." And so she like speaks again, and he's just like, "Okay, dead." And like casts, I can't remember what he cast Blight, I think, because it was ironic, because she was a druid. So he casts Blight on her, and she just drops. And then it like he turns around, like she's dying. She's obviously like got the dying condition, and he just says to someone, "You can go and heal her if you want." That's just like that is your warning of what I can do. Do anything like it again, like we're going to be in a fight and I'm going to kill one of you. So yeah. So that's been some stuff about my games. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm still kind of getting used to this new setup, as you can see. Hopefully you can still tell that this is the newest setup. Got my tray over here. I've got my dice in it. I still haven't done like a solitaire from this perspective. This is going to probably be a video. The thing with that usually use them to just fill gaps. So sometimes these videos do sit on here for quite a long time, and that does happen on occasion, especially if I'm making newer videos that I really want to put out. Mostly eating ones, but like sometimes I'll be like, oh, here's a coffee drinking one from like 2-3 months ago, and just whack it out. But ultimately, like, I don't think it makes much of a difference for you guys, right? Because like at the end of the day, you're just watching ASMR. It's not like you need an accurate live update. And if I do, then it is like an accurate live update for the time. I guess, speaking of which, if any of you have any requests, make sure to drop them in the comments, guys. I'd like to hear if you do have any. I like trying to do them. I know, like, in the past it's taken me a long time to get to some of them, but oftentimes they just kind of like are stuff that I need to think about a little bit more, and I just sometimes don't have the time to do it. But yeah, let me know any requests that you have that you'd like. In addition to that, make sure to drop a like on the video down below. Consider subscribing, pressing the bell icon, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Check out the videos. Whoops, over here. Being on this side of the screen. And I will see you in whatever video comes next, guys. Take care. Bye bye.